night and watch hentai all the time with my soul is tormented by a succubus. Call assist, pencil dripping from the way I spit. Fell in love with this. Sis got music, now she in my...
So Vinland Saga has finally come to an end, and I have to say it was an anime of 2019. There is no doubt about it in my mind that Vinland Saga was the best anime of 2019, hands down. The story has evolved in such a way that we rarely see stories take the time to, because nowadays we're so used to action, just blind, pure sweet action, people slicing each other, good animation sequences. That's what we're used to, and we do appreciate that. And don't get me wrong, animes that take the time to craft good fighting sequences and things like that are also greatly appreciated. I really love them, but you cannot deny the beauty of an excellent story, a good, just beautiful story. And I've said on numerous occasions that Vinland Saga, at least this first season, felt like the ballad of Ashalad. Okay, it felt like his story. And when I think of it like that, a lot of people didn't get that. They didn't get the way this author decides to write his stories, which is he doesn't just focus on the main character, that is Thorfinn. Doesn't just focus on him. He likes to explore other characters and how they affect the main character's progress to becoming who he's supposed to be later in life. And we saw throughout this season how Ashalad has been this cunning, brave, and kind of wily old fox of a man. But at the end, we cannot deny that he's also evil. He's an evil man. I don't care how many things he did, how many people who might think that Ashalad is that bad, but he's an evil man. And just because you're evil doesn't mean you can't be a hero. And that to me was a takeaway from this season. It's how do you make someone who is objectively evil, objectively a terrible person, and take that person and make them a hero? Now we're seeing something similar going on in My Hero Academia, but that is different. It isn't, Todoroki's dad, Endeavor, isn't really a traditional evil guy. He was abusive to his family, yes, but at the same time, he has always portrayed himself as a hero, trying to save as many people as possible, just in a more aggressive manner. And in that way, it's easier to take that kind of character and make them something that everyone can kind of look at and be like, okay, this guy might be bad, but we see him as a hero. Ashalad is a different kind of beast, because Ashalad is pure. Ashalad is evil, because if you go back through this anime and actually see the things he has done, he killed Thor's dad for money. It wasn't any political maneuver or nothing. It was just purely for money. He manipulated Thorfinn throughout because he knew how to use Thorfinn, and he admits to this himself. He says, "Look, Thorfinn, you're useful because I can just dangle my head in front of you and you do whatever I want you to do." And he has shown on numerous occasions that he doesn't care if Thorfinn dies doing what he wants him to do, even though at the same time he's also a bit proud of Thorfinn. Okay, but we also see further on where he goes to villages, kills the men, and his men, although he doesn't take part in himself, his men have their way with the women. I want to avoid the word because of YouTube, policy, but yeah, his men have their way with the women, and while he kills all the men, and then they eventually kill the women and the children too. We've seen people beg him for mercy, and he mercilessly kills them. He doesn't care. So in that sense, you cannot in any good conscience say that Ashalad is a good man. He's in no way a good person. But the thing about being a hero is that you do not necessarily have to be a good person to be a hero, because unlike what we think nowadays, heroes aren't defined by the world. Okay, you don't need to be a hero to the whole world. You just need to be a hero to a specific group of people, a small group of people. You can be a hero to a family. You can be a hero to a small town. The rest of the world can see you as the biggest villain in the world, but as long as a small town sees you as a hero, that is what being a hero means, okay? And which is why we often see in tales, one army one country will be like, this person is a hero, and the opposing country will be like, this person was the greatest villain that ever existed. This person committed such atrocious acts, okay, and things like that. So in Astolad's case, who is he a hero to? Now, he's a hero to two people. One is a hero to Canute, but he's majorly a hero to Wales. Now, why do I say this? This is because, first of all, Astolad's driving, when Astolad finds a purpose, when he finally finds one, it's because of Canute. Okay, and the purpose that he finds through Canute is making sure Wales is safe from war. He doesn't want Wales to get, engulfed in the war that's just taking over the entire continent at the time. And his connection to Wales comes from his mother, as we know, because he loves his mom. His mom was a slave from Wales, and because of that, he's loved this country. This Welsh country, the Romans who were there, who left England and went to Wales. He has loved these people, okay, and everything he does is to make sure that there is this future for Wales at the end. So now we're at a crossroads, okay. The king has given him an ultimatum, right? Pick between Canute and Wales. You can't choose. You can't have both. Pick one. And at this point in time, I didn't know what he was going to do. Honestly, I was like, how do you get out of this situation? Because there was no good answer to that predicament right there. How do you choose between the country you love, Wales, and between the man who is most likely to ensure that future goes on forever, which is Canute? And so, but Astolad does the most heroic thing possible, which is give his life to ensure the future of both things, okay? He kills the king straight up. He just murders him, and he knows he's going to die. And we see that even at this juncture, he doesn't lose his smarts, doesn't lose his what makes him the wily old man he was throughout the entire season. And why is that? Because by killing the king, if you had just killed the king and left it at that, then there's a very big chance that Canute takes the blame and Canute loses his chance to the throne, because it'll be like Canute committed, patricide, which is one of the biggest sins for royal families and for most families. Okay, killing your own father is a very big deal. All right, so what does Astolad do instead? Astolad feigns madness. Okay, he brings out his real name, which he says is
Lucius Artorius Castus.
And when he says that, okay, the atmosphere changes, because now everyone believes even that he's really thinking of himself as a king. And because he thinks of himself that way, suddenly it excuses Canute from the entire matter. Doesn't matter that this guy was Canute's general, not really general, but Canute's vassal for a while. What matters is this man killed the king out of madness. And after Astolad kills everyone, basically scares everyone by killing as many as possible, he then lets Canute end him. Alright, so Canute stabs him, and then that way he now begins to die. One other sweet thing I loved in this episode was the way, and I don't know if it's the author or if it's the anime itself, they took time to show that Thorkel isn't crazy. Also, Thorkel has a bit of smart and he has empathy, because he is the one who tells Canute that because Canute actually tells Thorkel to go and kill Astolad. He's like, hold on, your tongue will soon come. But Thorkel is like, no, every person needs to be put down by their own master. Okay, he shows that intelligence and he shows that empathy, because he realizes that this is Astolad's swan song. This is Astolad putting his life on the line for something he believes in. And the best way to end this is to have Canute himself end Astolad. And Canute goes ahead and does that, and Astolad dies, but he dies in Thorfinn's hand, which is another beautiful thing about this episode, because Thorfinn has been chasing this revenge for over 10 years now. 10 good years chasing this revenge. And we all thought that Thorfinn would get the vengeance eventually. And at that point, he basically loses it. Like, he loses his reason for living. Because, Astolad asked him, what do you see yourself doing after you kill me. And realize that Thorfinn has never actually thought of a future. All right, he has never thought of a possibility, a life that comes after killing Askeladd. So in a way, he has actually made himself so comfortable in that role of being the person to kill Askeladd that he has not thought of anything going on beyond that. And this, in a sense, is also freedom, which is illustrated in the most beautiful way possible by the dagger just falling out of his hands and kind of reflecting his entire life, everything he has been through. And it was such a beautiful moment. Honestly, it was mind-blowing. Okay, I appreciate good storytelling, and this was beautiful. Okay, because now Thorfinn is free from Askeladd's from the, should I say, the guile of the seduction of killing Askeladd. Okay, he's free from that, and that opens a whole new world to him. Okay, because now there are a multitude of things he can do with his life. And the anime takes the last few seconds to show us a lot of people, so many places, in so many different places in the world, whose lives we'll come to see in the next episode, in the next season. So next season is definitely going to be a bigger expansion. Okay, so now it's kind of like Thorfinn has been trapped in this tiny myopic view of the world. It's only had a tiny view of Askeladd was his entire life. But now, because Askeladd is gone, he has, his world is open now. There's so many things he could do with his life, so many possibilities. And I just love the beauty of that. I really love the beauty in that. And I hope they take this to, I can't wait. I honestly cannot wait. I have resisted reading the manga because I can't wait for the next season. It will be beautiful. I just know it will be beautiful. And that to me is why Vinland Saga is just up there as one of the best animes of this season. Okay, you might have one that you like last year. I think Kimetsu no Yaiba was one thing a lot of people love, and I do love that series. But just in terms of pure storytelling, okay, just from a storytelling standpoint, I honestly cannot think of an anime that beats Vinland Saga last year. It's just, I can't think of one. The story is just so good. And honestly, I can't wait until we see more from Askeladd, more from the gang. I can't wait to see what comes next, because being someone like Askeladd and also becoming a hero is something that only an anime like this can do. I said it before. Askeladd is a hero. He's an evil guy, but he's also a hero. He's a hero to the people of Wales. He's the kind of person whom, if the legend of what he did gets out to the people of Wales, somehow they will definitely venerate him. Okay, he's the Artorias that they all waited for. He's the King Arthur that they've been waiting for to save them. Okay, he gave his own life to ensure that theirs lives on. That's why he will always be a hero to those people. Now, to the people of England, he is the worst he's the worst, most terrible person ever. To Thorfinn, he'll always be the man who killed his father. All right, but to the people of Wales, he'll always be a hero, someone who gave his life when it mattered, to make sure that they were safe. And that to me is the measure of a hero. That is what it means. It doesn't matter. You can do as many evil things as possible in your life, but it only takes a single moment to be a hero. And that is one beauty of storytelling that I enjoy, because people don't realize how powerful that moment, that thing is. Just being a hero to just one person. It's a very powerful thing, okay? Because we live in a world now where people are trying to gratify everyone. Okay, you want to be recognized by everyone in the world, and it is impossible to do that. You cannot please everybody. So what you just have to do is focus on being a hero to one person, being a hero to maybe your family, being a hero to your community, just a little section of the world. Just carve out a little niche, protect them, and be a hero to those people. That is more than enough. Okay, if trying to be a hero to the world, you don't know what the world is. To be honest, you do not know the world. No one knows the world. As much as some people like to stand out and shout that they're there for the world, no one knows the world. You don't know what someone living in Kazakhstan, wants for life. You don't know what someone living, even in your own country, you don't know what someone living 2 blocks from you wants. from their life. Okay, so you cannot, it is literally impossible to be a hero to everyone. So just be a hero to one person, few people. That's enough. That is my takeaway from this show. Okay, that's my takeaway from this season of Vinland Saga this year. It has been a beautiful, magnificent year for anime in general. It has been a beautiful, magnificent year for me. And as I move on into 2020, as we go on to 2020, I just cannot wait to see what new things we can learn from the world of anime. And I just hope you all are there along for the ride, okay? Just enjoy, remember, be a hero. Love you guys. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this episode. And if you want to see more, can support me on Patreon, all right? Love y'all. See y'all later. This is Ren, signing out. Bye.